Risha. I am the host of RheeTV, and I am here with the beautiful Miss Jordan Lowery, who is the creator and visionary of Royalties ATX. So I like what you said. You can't control what happens to you, and you are absolutely right. I feel like what you do control is how you react to it.
Definitely.
You know, I think the only thing that you really have control of is yourself in this world in general with life, right? So
your mental state.
So that's beautiful and that's awesome that you're learning to just adapt and you're just pushing through. And you know, I like what you talked about in the beginning. You said you knew that you wanted to do something, you didn't know what, but you just kept following it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like that fire.
Talk more about that, because kids need to hear that. You know, I feel like that's something that I needed to hear growing up, because it's I only thought, okay, you go to college and you get a good job.
Yeah.
You know, nobody really ever talked about following this calling, this thing that you have inside of you, right? Whether it's photography, whether it's just like you wanted to do public speaking, whatever.
Yeah.
I think talk more about that and what kept you following that calling that's instilled in you.
So I'm following my calling every day, and even whenever I get so down on myself, like I swear, because like the stress of production and events, and you know, sometimes it does get you a little bit out of character just because you have so much pressure and you're like, do I even want to do this? But every time I felt like that, God would like reward me with this feeling later on in the night. Like at CEO Wednesday, I would just look around and I'd just be like, oh, this is so awesome. Like I feel like where I'm supposed to be. So just those moments of just feeling like
fulfilled.
Yes, exactly. Just so like I would just,
you're full.
You know,
your heart is so full.
Yeah.
You're just, I know.
Because it's bigger than me, and I don't think of myself as like a photographer or an artist. I just think of myself like as a public figure, and I'm doing all these different things. And you know, I didn't know what I wanted to do exactly. I knew I loved film. I knew I loved photography. I knew I loved creating stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know how far it was going to take me, but you know, I just kind of continued to follow it. And I didn't have that really introduced to me at a young age. You know, I didn't take the college route, you know, and sometimes I really wish I would, because I see what it does for people. I see the connections, but the thing about me is I try not to compare myself to others.
Comparison kills joy.
You know, and so I'm just like, this is my path, this is my testimony. So to other people, you know, you might not know what you want to do yet. You know, you might not know what that calling is, but if you just challenge yourself and do things you like to do.
Absolutely.
You know, if you like to eat,
you gotta tap into what you're good at.
Yeah, you know, and you do have to challenge yourself and get out of the comfort zone a little bit, but like if you do things that you like to do, you surround yourself with people, you have good conversations. You know, especially during this whole pandemic, it's like, you know, we haven't really been able to network as we normally would, go out and meet people, you know? But just having like conversations with people who are like-minded and following up on those conversations, I feel like is super powerful, because it starts there.
Absolutely.
You know,
community.
Community
is very important.
And supporting each other. And I feel like we just all have a purpose, and not everybody has the same purpose. You know, we all need, for everything to flow in life, you need different positions, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that you talked about that, because I think maybe like some kids watching this, it's very hard to see certain kids having the opportunity to go to like whatever college, right?
Yeah.
Getting a full ride. I recently spoke to a close friend of mine, and they said, I kind of felt judged a little bit, because they were like, you went to Texas State, why didn't you go to UT? Why didn't you go to A&M? And I said, sir, money, okay? At the time, I had a single mom, you know what I'm saying? And obviously growing up, I felt kind of, I don't want to say less than, but maybe that is the word that I'm looking for, because I felt like, okay, maybe I wasn't good enough for that school, or I wish I had that opportunity. I wish I got to go to that school. So you're right, comparison does kill joy. You comparing yourself to other people, and we do all have a different purpose. We do all have a different calling, right? And I think you just staying in your lane, creating your own lane.
Yes. And one other thing I want to touch on, like whenever you compare to people, and I know that, you know, I'm not very proud of everything that America stands for, but we have people who literally risk their lives to come here, and they come here with nothing. And I know, like, my first job, I worked with these Albanian people. And the people who own this restaurant, as my first job, they literally came here with nothing. And now they have successful businesses. They're driving around in Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, you know. Same thing with one of my really great mentors and friends, Tony. He came here when he was like 14 years old from Vietnam, and now he has a very successful business, is opening up a restaurant. Like, if they can come here with nothing, not even knowing the language, you know, we are in the land of opportunity. So for them to literally come here with like the backpack on their back and learn new skills and be able to take over, like, and be successful, and to be able to go into the Gucci store and buy whatever they want, you know what I mean? Like, that motivates me, because I'm like, dang, like, because I kind of felt like that too, you know? Like, I was definitely raised in a great home. We did have problems within our home, and I left really, really young, but I did not have any of those opportunities, really. I could have, you know, created them or whatever, but that wasn't the plan that God had for my life. So, you know, I just want to reach out to those people who feel like they don't have the opportunities, and they don't have, you know, what they think they need, you know, because people literally, like, we have so much. Like, we have to realize, like, and whenever you have a feeling of, I am less than, you need to literally 3 things at least. Like, what are you grateful for right now? Like, right now, I'm grateful just to be sitting, just to have my legs that I can walk on. You know what I'm saying? Just to have my hands that are functioning, because we take those things for granted.
That's
you
true.
know? Like, you know, whenever you're sick and you're like, man, am I ever gonna get over this? Like, I just feel like crap. I can't
when
do
your nose
anything.
is stopped up and you can't breathe through it.
Yes, you just
like,
yes, you're like, I can't wait till I can just breathe.
oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? So we have to really be grateful and thankful for what we have.
Yeah, I think you're right. Whenever you're feeling down bad, just what are you grateful for in this moment? Taking a step back, and that actually helps with, you know, being humble too. So I like that. What have you ran into being in the entertainment industry in terms of women empowering women?
So I have definitely seen a whole new trend, I feel like, in the last couple of years of women really supporting women, and I love it. I think it's so great. I follow a lot of really great people on Instagram, and just seeing people like you, and just seeing people who are actually really empowering women. And whenever I say empower women, it's great to give a stranger a compliment, like, oh, I love your dress, oh, I love that. That is a way of empowerment, but like, if you're in a position to put another female in a position too, that's true empowerment. Like, stop hoarding your resources.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, if you have a situation, and I just feel like more women is better than one. You know, it's just crazy. I mean, we're so powerful. It is. I don't like to play on it too much, because, you know, I love men too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but in this industry, it's so crazy, because being a female videographer, whenever I come on set, sometimes people just look at me like, oh, this girl, oh, you got a drone, can you actually fly that? Like, I can't tell you how many times people just make these comments to me, and I'm just like, yo, I don't even really entertain it, because I'm in my zone and whatever, and then they see the finished product and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, you're so great. And I'm like, well, you know, thank you. But being a woman, we definitely, there's so many pros and cons, you know what I mean, in the business world.
Absolutely.
You know, and I feel like we have to work a little bit harder to prove ourselves. So whenever you have another boss woman who's like, hey, like, we're aligned, we can actually, like, really, like, you know, do something. Yeah.
No, I agree.
So that's what I really want to see more of. And I have to say, to some women, you know, I have seen a few people start stuff and then they're just like, oh, this is just for us type thing. You know what I mean? Just cliquish, you know what I mean? And that might just be me from looking on the outside looking in, but there's just this whole women and feminism, it's great. I just want to see true women empowerment more, you know what I mean? And I feel like I said, it's trending, it's great.
It's really more than just a compliment. It's actually, you know, putting in the work and doing collaborations and bringing people together and putting people on.
And even if you're not in the entertainment industry, like, even just at work, you know, if you see somebody, you know, picking on somebody or whatever, stand up for them. I'm the type of woman, I don't bond over gossip. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of girls, that's their only topic, you know? And I know women like that. And I just have to, like, be like, you know what, that's your opinion. I don't wish to engage in this conversation because that's my friend or that's my colleague or whatever. I don't like to gossip about people. I don't think that and how are you gonna gossip about somebody and then turn around and be like, oh, women's rights, women's this, you know. I don't like seeing that. So I want to encourage women to be true empowers and really empower these women and all types of different women, you know, because there's so many different women. There's so many, you know, there's so much room for everybody. You know, everybody has a different lane.
Absolutely. There's
you know, we're all so beautiful in our own ways, and we all have women are so awesome because we pay attention to detail. We go the extra mile. We're so extra. You know, we investigate if we need to. You know what I mean? But not in like a negative way. But I'm just saying, like, we will do our research. If we want to know something, we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hire more women. Whoever's watching this, hire more women.
Yes, more women in positions.
We do love our men.
And that's the thing too. Whenever it comes to that, like I don't think that it's right for women to put men down just because of a situation that you may have been in. Because I've been in a lot of situations where I've been disrespected by men, but I'm not gonna walk into the workplace and just be like arrogant or like, you know,
doing the most.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, even if that is my production, like I treat everybody as an individual, and I want everybody to know, like, you're important. Even if you are just here to help get us water or sweep up the floor when we leave, like, you are important. You know what I mean? Like we're all here for one goal. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
Yeah.
What would you tell your 16-year-old self?
Oh. Yo, I was a wild child. I was a wild child for sure. By 16, I was already out of the house. So yeah, I would tell myself, you know, I would tell myself, hey, you better save some more money. First of all, save money, because I have been in the service industry my whole entire life.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you're in that service industry and you're getting cash every night, like, you know, tips, it's like, you know, you blow it fast too. You're like, oh, I want to go out to eat, or I want to buy
You're like, I can make this tonight.
I'm gonna make it back, you know. So I would definitely tell myself to set up myself for financial stability, because I didn't really have that taught to me. I feel like, you know, as young people, like, we should be taught, like, people should be teaching us about savings and about, you know.
So how did you learn?
Girl, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still learning, and YouTube, you know, YouTube is so
the freaking GOAT.
YouTube University. You know what I mean? And, like, I say that a lot, and I'm just joking.
Google, YouTube, all that stuff.
And just because I didn't go to college doesn't mean that I don't look like, I don't compare, but that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? But you can, like, in this day and age, like, you can learn anything. You can look up anything, you know, online, and just by learning from people, getting out there and getting into the field, you know? So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I would definitely tell my 16-year-old self not to worry so much about what others think. You know, staying in relationships because, oh, my parents, like, they think we're doing so good, but really I'm in a, you know, an abusive relationship, but I don't want to, you know, put that out there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And even just, you know, putting myself out there and being a photographer. And I'm the type of person, like, I will be in the streets promoting my event. Like, I will hand you a flyer. I'm not really scared to be rejected, but sometimes I would just, I don't know, I would just feel a little insecure because of what people would think about me. So I would definitely tell myself, hey, let that go. Or
how do you let it go? Or what have you been doing, or what mantra, or
I would say just investing more time into myself and into my craft, and learning more and practicing more. Now I'm more confident. Now I don't really care. Like, I do care about my brand and branding and all of that, but this is me, you know? And if you're unapologetically yourself, like, yeah, there's probably gonna be some people who shun you, and your family might not understand, but you're gonna have a whole gang of people who, like, really admire you and look up to you, and people that you can really change their life. You know, being an entrepreneur and being in this entertainment industry, coming from where I come from a small, closed-minded town, you know, and then all the things that I have going on.
And everything that you've done. It's almost as if, like, where did this girl come from? How was this possible?
Yeah.
You know, so good for you, girl. That's hard, coming from a small town.
Yeah.
And then you're in a different city and you've created this empire. That's good for you.
Thanks, girl. And it's like, people look at it and they think, like, oh, like, this girl has it all figured out. They think that I have you know, people who are just giving me money or investing, and I'm like, yo, like sometimes it's really hard.
Absolutely.
Like there's been so many times I'm like, yo, is this even worth it anymore? Like, should I just like stop? Should I just like move out of
Being
this
an
place?
entrepreneur is not for the weak.
Yeah.
It is not for the weak-minded.
Especially during this whole pandemic. I even consider moving back to like the Houston area and just everything, because I do have opportunities there.
Yeah.
You know, my friend's opening up this restaurant. He's like, please come and manage this. I know you can do it. I'll pay you this much. And I'm like, that sounds really good, but I can't give up on my dream.
Right.
You know, I can't give up on my dream. So that's just what I've been doing, just pursuing the dream. And I don't have it all figured out. You know, I'm still learning. I'm still learning about money. I'm still learning about, you know, just how to manage my time and treat this like a real 9-to-5, because I never was in corporate America. I've always been in the service industry, you know, so I'm learning about systems and just different things to be successful.
Absolutely. Yeah. How do you balance, you talked about self-care and making a sacrifice. Go more in depth about that.
So balancing self-care and sacrifice can be so difficult being an entrepreneur, just because there are going to be those times where you have to work late and you got to be up early and you have to be pretty and you have to look good and you have to
gotta be on.
You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you're tired and sometimes your friends are like, just come out with us. And you're like, no, I have to be up early in the morning or whatever. Or you might even make that choice. Okay, I'm gonna go out and I'm just gonna have to feel for it in the morning, whatever, you know? You just really have to make those choices at the right time. And you're probably gonna make mistakes, of course, but you really just have to balance that. So like me, like if I know I have like a week of just like, there's gonna be projects like every day, that next weekend I might be like, okay, I'm gonna take like two days off and I'm just gonna chill at home, go to the pool, whatever. I'm just gonna like, I know that I'm working right now, and even though I'm suffering right now, I know next weekend I'm gonna be chilling. You know what I mean? So I just keep that in my mind. So I'm like, okay, like this is temporary. This is just a part of the journey. And you know, you just have to balance that, because you can run yourself in the ground if you don't give yourself things to look forward to. If you don't
burnt out. That's a bad thing.
And I've definitely been there to the point where I was just, you know, I look at some pictures of myself from a couple years ago and I'm just like, oh my God, like this is such a great memory, but I just remember how much turmoil I had in my heart just because of just you know, personal. And it's so hard, like being a creative and being on set and doing stuff like this, like you have to have your mindset. You have to be good. So if you have, you know, bad relationships, toxic friends, toxic work environments, toxic anything, it really has an effect on you. And I'm the type of person, like, I'm pretty transparent. So if I'm, you know, I have to work. That's like that's a priority, making sure that I'm good, you know?
So, you have to be your best self in order for,
you know,
anything to be successful.
And whenever you're making those sacrifices, like, you know, if you're sacrificing, you know, the amount of hours of sleep you get, or if you're sacrificing, you know, how much you're gonna spend at the grocery store, whatever it is, you know, you have to just accept it. You know, you have to accept it and know that it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So,
what advice would you give to someone who wants to start some sort of business? It could be a service or it can be a product. What advice would you give them in terms of them thinking, oh, money, I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the means to do it.
The first thing I would say to anybody who wants to start a business is to, number one, find a mentor. Find a mentor, and then if you have the budget, get a lawyer. So you can figure out, hey, what do I need to really do? What legal things do I really need to do? Do I need to go ahead and get this LLC, or can I do a DBA for a little while? You know, because you can do that. You don't really need an LLC. It protects you, you know, because nobody can sue me. Something happens in here and the whole world or the whole building blows up, they're gonna sue royalties, not Jordan. You know what I mean? So, you know, it does protect you, but you can operate under a DBA. Just having somebody who can point you in the right direction, give you advice, give you encouragement even. Definitely mentorship is just, absolutely, you know, I stand having somebody you can call on, you know, just to be like, hey. And then when it comes to the money thing, you know, one thing that I've recently learned, even though I'm super weird about getting loans and stuff, and I don't like having anything over my head like that, but sometimes you can get that capital, and it actually feels good. You know, like whenever you can get, if you can get a business loan, like I would say if you have a good product,
Right.
you know, don't just go get a loan and blow it.
Yeah, you gotta be serious.
You know,
yeah.
but you can. There's definitely capital out there that you can tap into, and if you have a good idea, and being young and being millennials, people want us. Like the older generations, they're like, oh my gosh, this young person, like they know everything about social media, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Like, you know, so
use that to your advantage for sure.
Definitely. So.
I love that advice. That's beautiful. Yeah, mentorship, I'm all for it. Getting a sponsor, you know, having somebody to vouch for you, getting a coach.
Yes.
It could be any type of coach too, you know?
And don't feel like you know everything. I feel like that comes with every amateur, because even I was like that. Like I was kind of like, not that I felt like I knew everything, but I felt intimidated by other people who, I didn't want them to think that I was dumb or like that I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going on like a big set, like somebody's trying to ask me like a film related question and I'm like, oh, you know, whatever, trying to like, you know, be coachable, ask questions. If you're on a set, be like, hey, like, what lens are you using? Oh, what frame rate? What is this? What is that? You know? Right. Because whenever I first started, like the first like year, I was just different, you know? Yeah. And I feel like every amateur kind of has to go through that, you know? You have to be like, okay, you have to make those mistakes, you know.
Embrace being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You really have to embrace being uncomfortable. You have to embrace the fact that you don't know and own up to that.
Yes.
I really don't know. That's why I'm here.
And you know,
why I'm learning. That is why I'm asking these questions.
Like I'm not like some, you know, huge guru or pro, but whenever I do see people who are like a little younger than me and they come in and they have that attitude of wanting to learn and wanting to ask questions, like I admire that so much and I actually want to work with them.
Absolutely.
If I have like an arrogant person who thinks they know it all or just has like that energy, I'm like, oh Lord, let me, like I'm gonna give you an opportunity a little bit because I know where you're coming from. But you don't want to work with people like that. Right. You know what I mean? You want to work with people who are excited, who want to, you know, be coachable. So,
yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you for coming on RheeTV.
Yes.
This was amazing, and I'm sure that you inspired someone on the show.
Hope so.
But good luck to you.
Thank you, Risha, and congratulations to you.
More collabs on the way. You know, that's really what it's about. It's about choosing collaboration over competition.
Oh,
and I'm just excited for you and royalties. And y'all, this was my old stomping ground. I was a part of the royalties gang.
Yes.
Radio host, all that good stuff. And thank you to you. You know, you put me onto a lot.
Thank you,
I'm
Risha.
just here trying to embrace what you taught me, you know?
Aww. So, well, congratulations to everything that you have going on. I mean, she has the setup. She has the dope videographer with the good gear. She's doing her thing.
Shout out to Shine.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the cameraman. But no, Risha, I want to encourage you to just keep on doing your thing. I just love like the light that you're shedding into like everybody's life, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Mom.
You know, and thank you for involving me. You know, thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for doing this because this is fun. This is so much fun because I don't get like, you know, I'm usually doing the interviewing. So
right. No, I bet.
It's been fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And to anybody watching, you guys, make sure y'all follow me at Miss Jaywalk at Royalties ATX. We're located right here in downtown Austin. We have a lot to offer to you guys if you're looking to create, collaborate. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited.
We out.
Yes.